I think we're live. Does it say live in the corner? I think we're live. Sorry, I was waiting for a countdown. Clearly a countdown didn't come. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this live with the University of Suffolk. I'm here today with lots of different professors and lecturers from the University of Suffolk, and Callum, who is a student with us at the University of Suffolk. My name's Daisy. That is my dog, who, if you've just heard in the background, is barking and is joining us today also. I'm Daisy, and I work for the Student Recruitment and Outreach team at the University of Suffolk. So I work with lots of schools and colleges across the region, looking into how we can engage with students into what our university is all about. So I'm just going to focus on the people that we have on the screen currently and get you all to introduce yourselves individually and what your roles are at the University of Suffolk and what course you work on. So I'm going to go around my screen. I'm going to start off with Fandy. Can you introduce yourself and what you do at the university?
Hello, my name is Fendi Ibrahim. I'm an associate professor in the nutrition and human health, and I teach in the nutrition and human health degree, and I do also research on the around gut microbiota and probiotic area. These are really fascinating area of nutrition side.
Brilliant. It sounds fascinating. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll come back to that in a second. Katia, can you introduce yourself next for me, please?
Yes, so my name is Katia Marques. I'm a senior lecturer at university and I'm course leader for the biological sciences. And so I teach across different modules, and I'm doing a little bit of research also around osteocytes and how these ones can be characterized and how we can look at their regeneration.
Sounds brilliant. Thank you so much. Adam, on to you next. If you could just introduce yourself and what you do at the university.
Yep, so I'm Adam Clayton. I'm a senior lecturer and I'm the course leader for games design. And I'm also going to be representing games programming as well. So any games related questions you can throw my way. And in terms of research, I do a bit of eye tracking research and I'm also looking into player experience and achievement.
Brilliant. All sounds so fascinating so far. And Callum, lastly, on to you. If you could just introduce what you do at the university and what year you are in currently.
Obviously I'm Callum. I'm a first year web and mobile development student. So that's developing websites and apps, that kind of thing. I'm currently staying in student accommodation, as you can probably see. And yeah, that's what I do here. I'm also a student ambassador, so you get so you can do various stuff like various things to promote the university like this, and yeah, it's a very good university to come to.
Brilliant. I love that finish there. It's a very good university. Great way to finish your intro. Those of you that are joining us on this live, you will notice a chat function. Please do pop in any suggestions of anything that you'd like to ask anyone on the screen currently. Someone said hello back, Kings Osis. Yeah, please feel free to pop any comments in that chat. But we have some pre-prepared questions already that we can ask those on the screen. So I'm going to go Katia. I'm going to go to you first. Can you explain a little bit more about the kind of modules that you teach on your course and the kind of modules that students can pick up when they join your course at the university?
Yes, so of course, so the biological sciences course has actually been recently revalidated and reaccredited, and we have introduced some new modules and the opportunity for students to actually customize a little bit their degree. So they have the option to choose between two main routes. So one route that is more directed to the human biology and another route that is more dedicated to the animal and plant biology. So between those, you can explore modules like the cell biology, scientific study skills, biochemistry, introduction to the genome. So all of that then ends up being directed to different areas that students would like to pursue. So they are trained in the basic concepts of biology. They will learn about the basic laboratory techniques using our really good facilities. So they then go into understanding how the biochemistry, how the metabolism works, and so on. And as they progress throughout the course, they become more and more independent, and they culminate their degree with their dissertation projects that usually can be lab work based, or they can do meta-analysis work, in between many others, depending really on the main student interests, actually, and skills.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Kathy, you touched upon something that I'm interested in, and you mentioned the word facilities and the amazing facilities that we have at the university. Can you tell those that have joined us today a bit about the facilities that we have, specifically in your course area?
Yes. So we have fantastic facilities. We invest, the university and the school has a continued investment on improvement on the facilities. So we have, we try to match our facilities with the facilities that employers would have with the particular type of equipment that is being used within employers. So we allow students to work and be trained on this. So when they go into work, when they finish the courses, they know what they will find. We have had quite good feedback from our students when they move into their new workplace and they get there and they say, "Oh, actually, I worked with this piece of kit." So, and it's very, very, very good to hear that we have that feedback. So we have from the basic laboratory equipment to tissue culture facilities, to where then we have more defined laboratories where you can do DNA analysis, extractions and analysis. We can do work with tissues, so we can do sectioning, we can do immunohistochemistry. So lots of different techniques that are actually within the market, the research market, and students usually really love it.
Yeah, sounds brilliant. I love that. Thank you so much. I'm just going to check the chat section, the comment section. So no questions have come through as of yet. So please do remember, if you've joined us today for this live, that you can put any questions for any one of the team that has joined us in that comment section box. So Adam, I'm going to come to you next. I'm going to put you on the spot with a question. I'm going to do the same as I said to Katia. What kind of modules can your students choose to take, or what kind of specialisms can your students choose to take when they study with you on the games course?
Yeah, so pretty much games is quite multidisciplinary. So we've got the games programming and design courses, but they work quite a lot with each other. So we have a lot of group project type modules where you're obviously making games across the whole semester. But on design specifically, it's almost like a psychology degree in disguise, because it teaches you all about the players, how to evoke emotions in those players. So pretty much you figure out how to design games to elicit those emotions, but also desirable responses, and create those sort of experiences that are going to allow your players to play for very long periods of time. So we go over all sorts of concepts like motivation and how that changes over time, look at reward schedules, some psychological concepts such as conditioning. You get all of that sort of thing in the first year. And the second year, it also expands a bit deeper into sort of like behavioral psychology. So it's very heavy in that sort of aspect of things. So in terms of design, it's not one of those courses where you walk in and then you do a bunch of like 3D modeling or art or drawing, that sort of thing. It's all based on the systems and understanding your players, understanding the brain, how it all works, and how you can use that to create very engaging experiences. And also in the final year as well, you work on a dissertation project. So that can pretty much be on whatever it is that you're interested in related to your course. So we've had students look into sort of level design dissertations, which look into like attention, for example. How best can you guide your players through a level towards certain goals? Some people have looked into sort of horror experiences, so eliciting those emotions of like fear and scare, and figuring out how best to do that. So it takes a lot of work to get that sort of thing created. So yeah, it really depends on what you want to do, But the design course has a lot of psychology embedded into it. You're creating games from day one as well. So we don't assume any sort of prior knowledge of, say, programming before coming onto the degree. So it's all sort of like as a baseline. And then you get those group projects in the first and second year, you get mentoring, and then you go off into the final year, do your dissertation, and you also create a game that gets submitted to a competition as well, which can get funding, which is pretty cool. So we've got a good track record of that. So that's pretty much what you do on the games degree, really. So you make a lot of games, but you also understand a lot of the theoretical underpinnings as well. So yeah.
Wow, that sounds so interesting. Every time I do one of these lives, I feel like I want to go back to uni and study a different course because they all just sound brilliant. Adam, I'm going to stick with you. Let me just check the comments. Yeah, no one has commented yet. What kind of your recent graduates from your course? What kind of professions or work have they gone on to go do afterwards?
Loads.
Sorry,
So we
putting you on
have,
the spot.
so we've got, well, the last stats show that we've got an 80% employment rate, which is pretty good. And 100% of those are in what's called high skilled employment, which is using the skills of the degree in the workplace. So that's pretty much people in the games industry, right? So lots of games design posts. So a junior games design role tends to be the go-to one. But there's also the transferable skills as well. So students have gone on to work as software engineers, for example, so using their programming skills in other sectors. That's not just specific to games. They've also, recent graduates have gone on to work as producers. So we've got a student working at Splash Damage, for example. We've got quality assurance roles in, say, Rockstar as well, so in Lincoln. So yeah, producers, designers, QA, software engineers, games programmers as well. Those are the sorts of jobs that students go off to work into. So yeah,
brilliant.
that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Fandy, I'm going to come to you next, and your lovely skeleton friend that you've got in the background of what I assume is your office.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna just tell you first two things. One about nutrition and human health in general, and then about nutrition and human health at Suffolk. So
Yeah, please do.
nutrition actually is not really exaggeration to say that there is nothing in our life or in our health that not linked to nutrition, either as a etiological factor or as a way of support different kind of illnesses. So it's really true when you say like you are what you eat. And coming to the nutrition and human health at Suffolk, I think the greatest opportunity really here, which I have myself compared different degrees across UK, is that we have plenty of opportunity for laboratory work. I mean, that's a fact that we are shared module with biological sciences, and biomedical sciences gives really great opportunity to do laboratory work at all levels. Those who like to do more desktop work, they can do it. But I really know that this is a unique advantage as University of Suffolk, that we have, the students are able to do more lab work than other places. And yeah, I mean, that is how I see nutrition really is involved in everything in our life.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you so much. Let me just check our chat function. So still no questions in. So please do pop questions in the comments if you are joining us for this live today. And I believe that unfortunately our time with the current course leaders is up, and we're going to do a bit of a change around and bring two new people in. So those that are backstage in the green room, I'm going to suggest maybe we do a little switch around. I don't know how quickly this is going to happen. So whilst we're doing a little switch around, I'm going to go to Callum and bring Callum in. Callum, whilst we're bringing new professors and lecturers onto the screen, can you just talk a little bit about your favourite aspects of the University of Suffolk and studying with us?
So one of the things I like about the University of Suffolk is the classes are quite small, so you get personalised, you get very good support. I'm definitely not saying this because my lecturer's on the call.
That's hilarious. Brilliant.
Also, there's I also chose this because there's a lot of expertise here. I mean, you come across. I mean, I've come across all sorts of people. I've come across a guy who is really, really into AI. I've come across a guy who's into networking. Well, one of the lecturers is into networking, and also the location is nice. Ipswich is it's a nice town. There's multiple parks. I'm kind of I like my walks, so I go on those. once in a while. So it's not Ipswich is quite a nice town to study and live in.
Nice. Are you currently in Athena Hall student accommodation, or are you at Grimwade Street?
No, I'm in Athena Hall.
Athena Hall. And have you got one of the lovely rooms that overlook the marina, or were you not that lucky this year?
I have got one of the rooms that's overlooking the marina.
Nice. Those are my favourite rooms. Yeah, nice views of the marina. Brilliant. So we have got new people have joined us on the screen. So I'm going to go to Sean. Sean, could you just introduce yourself and what you do at the University of Suffolk? And also, I know you're going to give a kind of overview of the computing degree.
Yeah, thank you, Daisy. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Thank you, Daisy, and well done, Callum. You earned yourself a few brownie points there. So our computing degree. So my name is Sean Preston. I'm a senior lecturer in computing and course leader for the computing degree. So the computing degree is at its core a flexible program. So it allows students to study in computer science in one of 4 ways. So students can either choose one of 3 pathways. So a pathway in cybersecurity, which focuses on sort of the security of software, network systems, but also thinking about the people and the organizational aspects of cybersecurity. Then we have web and mobile development, so that focuses on building enterprise-level web and mobile applications, and that's the pathway that Callum's on. And then we have a final pathway in artificial intelligence, and that's looking at how we make sense of all these massive amounts of data that we're creating in our daily lives. And as a student, you don't have to choose one of those 2 pathways. You can pick and choose modules that align with your interests and career ambitions, and therefore just come out with a computing degree, which is the gold standard across the sector.
Brilliant. Sounds fantastic. We've got a question that's come in for you, Sean, actually, from those that have joined us. Question for computing lecturer, please. How much of my time will be spent at the Digitech?
Excellent. So for those that don't know, Digitech is our brand new technology centre at Adastral Park. So it was a £9.6 million investment, and it launched sort of earlier on the year. We've had the first cohort of students through it. And it's based on one of the largest innovation parks in Europe, home to over 150 technology companies. And in terms of how much of our time our students get to access Digitech, it really depends upon the module and how advanced that module is. It's really created as a technology centre for advanced learning. However, every single bit of technology in that centre is for undergraduate students and accessible by undergraduate students. So the amount of time they spend in Digitech will increase as they go through their years, but it'll largely be at their 2nd and 3rd year where they start to specialise, especially in things like cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, where they'll be able to use those facilities alongside their core modules.
Brilliant. I absolutely love the Digitech. I think it's one of my favourite places of the whole University of Suffolk campus. And I'm not just saying that because Sean's on the call. I think it's such a brilliant place to be, and such a brilliant and interesting place to be. Callum, do you go up to the Digitech much currently, or have you not had that luxury yet of being able to get up there?
I haven't been there yet, but I've heard great things about it, and I cannot wait to go up there and see what's there.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. Yeah, it's a good one. Sean, have you got a favourite aspect of the Digitech? Have you got a favourite part of it or a favourite element to the Digitech?
I think most people that visit the site will be in agreement that the cybersecurity range is nothing but amazing. The room's actually set up so it's split into 2 halves, so we can actually simulate attack and defense scenarios. But I think realistically, because it is just so new, and because the technology is so advanced, whenever we take students or visitors and parents up to see the facility, they're just completely amazed by everything they see.
Yeah, I'd agree. Callum, you've got a lot to look forward to. It's good. Let me just have a look at the chat function. Oh, they're just a few links that we've put in. So please do follow. The University of Suffolk have put some links into the comment section for you to go and have a look at the Digitech on our website. So please do have a look at those links if you've got some time. Okay, Nigel, I'm going to move on to yourself. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Would you like to talk a bit about what you do at the University of Suffolk and about the arts courses in general?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Daisy. Thank you to everyone. Yes, so I have a couple of roles at the University of Suffolk. Firstly, I'm the course leader for the graphic design courses, but I'm also head of arts, so I oversee all of the arts courses, which include fine art, architecture, digital film production, screenwriting, photography, and the 2 graphic design courses that we have as well. So the courses, we sort of have... as a school, we're the School of Engineering, Arts, Science and Technology, which is a very broad school, which brings some really good things with it. But within the arts, we have our own dedicated arts building. So we sort of a little bit of an art school within the wider School of East. But being part of the wider School of East, what it does is it brings great opportunities for cross-collaborative activity with some other courses. We've just recently had some fine art and some life science students working together with Katia, who you saw in the first half of this broadcast, where the fine art students and life science students were drawing from what they saw through microscopes, and it produced some really interesting results. And those sort of cross collaboration activities can happen in a school like this, which where you've got fine artists working with scientists, and the results that come out of that, and the learning that comes out of that for both areas, for both the artists and for the life science students, is really fabulous. And this school opens up those sort of opportunities, which is great.
Brilliant, thank you. Nigel, sticking with you, could you tell us a little bit about the facilities that your subject areas have at the University of Suffolk?
Absolutely. So as I said, we've sort of got our own arts building with lots of different workshops in there. The ground floor is mostly workshops, so we've got a great print room with lots of printing facilities in there, screen printing. We've got some very old ancient presses. When you come around and see these old ancient presses, it's like, wow, it's when you get your hands get to go on those. We've got great woodworking and 3D facilities with 3D printers in there, with laser cutters in there, and those sorts of things, as well as traditional woodworking tools. We have a filmmaking studio, where it is actually a studio where you can set up sets within there to film within there. Then we have all of our photography studios as well. So we have a big photography studio for doing portraiture and for doing lots of shots, but also we have the photography course is really quite interesting. In fact, there's not many photography courses in the country that still do wet photography. So we've got our darkroom facilities. A lot of photography courses have gone completely digital. And while our photography course does do digital, it's also got all of the traditional facilities there as well with wet photography. The fine arts students have really good facilities on the top floor, and each student gets their own space. And the architecture students have dedicated rooms with 3D printers within them as well. I think that's covered most things. Apologies if I missed. Oh, then we've got the Mac suite, and we've got the high-end PC suite and sound recording studios as well. Yeah, there's a lot to remember, so apologies.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a lot. It sounds great.
And what we have is while different areas might be zoned towards certain courses because they're there for their specialisms, if students from different courses want to use different areas and learn different techniques, then they can do. So you might have a graphic student going and working in the photography studio, for example, or you might have a photography student going in and for some reason doing some 3D printing and then going on and photographing that or something. So there's opportunities for all students to be using all the facilities.
Yeah, sounds brilliant. And Katia has actually just put into our private chat bit that there are more collaborations coming soon. So I feel like that's a watch this space comment that she's put there. Fantastic. Right, let me just check our live comment section. So you'll notice if you've joined us on this live that there are lots of links in the comment section to the various courses that we've talked about today and the Digitech site. So please do check those out if you are interested and you can spare a moment. Lovely. Moving on. So Sean, I'm going to come to you next and ask a bit about, like I did with the previous academics, what kind of careers and what kind of jobs, what kind of professions do your graduates go on to do after graduating from your courses at the university?
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. I think one of our main goals is to make sure that students, when they graduate, that next step into industry is as smooth as possible. And therefore, we try and, at the core of the degree, to try and enable students to have opportunities to network and collaborate with industry. So we'll have guest speakers, we'll have an annual Suffolk Tech Industry Day where we invite local representatives, tech experts, CEOs, founders onto campus. There's normally free pizza, which tends to help the students, but and they can ask questions, and from that they can get internships, they can get placements, they can get work experience. And we have a Google Developer Club, loads of things going on to really make that transition once you complete the degree into industry as smooth as possible. And in terms of the roles, it obviously largely depends upon the pathway you choose. And we'd hope that if you choose the cybersecurity pathway, you'll align yourself with a cybersecurity expert role in industry. But there's a massive wide range of different roles. And the point of us making the degree flexible is to allow students to choose the things that they want to study and therefore align the course with their career goals. So if they have a student that's particularly interested in cybersecurity, but also wants to learn some mobile development, they can choose modules from those two areas, and they create somewhat like a bit of a niche for themselves when they come to actually graduate. So we've got roles sort of QA engineer, mobile developer, cybersecurity expert, AI expert, data analyst. The list is pretty extensive because of the wide variety of modules and the pathways.
Yeah, having worked with you guys quite a lot recently in the computing courses with some outreach stuff, I've been really fascinated, and I think it's brilliant that so many of your students are sort of prepped for the world of work right the way through their degree. So I think that's brilliant. Nigel, I'm going to ask you the same question. Of your recent graduates, I know you've got a really wide kind of range of sort of design courses that you offer in your portfolio, but is there sort of themes, or what have some of your recent graduates gone on to go do after studying with you at the university?
The things that I can answer immediately is we have architecture students who have gone straight out into the world of being an architect. The architecture courses are RIBA accredited, so that gives the students that professional accreditation to be able to go into the actual world of work and be an architect. But in graphic design, the area that I'm most closely related to is we have students go straight into the world of work, as well as going on to do MAs as well. But mostly our students, it's very vocational. Most of our students want to go into the world of employment, and we try to equip them so that they hit the ground running and they go into those roles. We've just had a student recently who left last year who has worked her first role straight out of university, is working at Saatchi & Saatchi in London, which is probably one of the world's most well-known advertising agencies. And so our students are equipped to go into the world of work both nationally and locally. So we're not a university where we're just equipping students to facilitate the local employment market. It's also to go nationally and internationally as well. So we want our students to be ambitious.
Yeah, brilliant. Sounds fantastic. Thank you so much. Just before I draw to a close, Callum, I'm going to come to you. So last but not least, we probably have lots of students that are watching this live that come from sixth forms or colleges and are thinking about their UCAS applications and applying to university. So as a current student that went through that process probably quite recently, what are your top tips for what students in year 12 maybe should be doing this summer for the remainder of this academic year to prep their applications for next year? Some top tips for applicants, if you will.
Yeah, so first thing is to look at universities that do what you want to do. That's how I found the University of Suffolk. Secondly, if you have any prior experience on doing, if you have any volunteering or job experience, say that. If you have any experience, anything related to the course, even better. So for example, I put in my personal statement that I've done some websites in the past. So any experience that relates to your course, or anything that just shows an interest in your course or the course that you want to apply for, put that down in your personal statement. They do appreciate that. Also, so look for look at every university, no matter how big or small. If they do what you want to do, put them on your list and do some further research into them. And if they're the University of Suffolk, come here.
I love that. You had to get that one in. Thank you, Callum.
Yeah, no worries.
Brilliant. Sean and Nigel, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to add before we finish up today?
I think it's really just to add to what Callum just said is that in terms of UCAS applications, we just want to know that you're passionate about your topic area more than anything. I think Nigel will probably agree to this. I think the most important thing is, especially when we're reviewing the applications, is that we want to know that you're passionate about it, and actually the course that you're doing is aligned with what you want to go on to do in the future. Nigel.
Brilliant.
I
Nigel,
agree
anything
with
else? Brilliant. Thank you so much. Passionate and yeah, pop those kind of showing that your passion and you're passionate about a subject area on your UCAS application is a must. Well, thank you so much to everyone that has joined us today. Those of you that are watching this at home on the live, and to the lecturers and professors and Callum, our student who has joined us today. Last but not least, we have an open day at the University of Suffolk in a few weeks' time on Saturday, the 9th of April, which is 9:30 to 2:30 p.m. That is where you can come onto campus, have a look around, go up to the Digitech if you're a student, computing student that wants to go visit up there and have a look at the amazing facilities that we have over there. So please do look on our website to sign up for that open day. And just a reminder to follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and a TikTok channel. So please do go and follow us on those social media feeds. And thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next time. And I will do that awkward wave out until Natasha decides to finish the live. But thank you so much. Bye, guys. Thank you.